It's our absolute pleasure to be joined by Los Angeles Sparks rookie Zia Cooke. Here on my main man, Michael Smith. Zia, thank you for falling through. I was watching an awesome behind-the-scenes video of your path to the WNBA draft, and there was a line that jumped out to me because I'm 43 years old, and I'm adulting every day now. And I think it was your agent who said, draft day is the day that you become a grown-up. So my first question for you is, what's it like being a grown-up?
It's good. I think my parents kind of prepared me in the best way possible to be a grown-up. I'm still adjusting to certain things, but I think NIL also helped me understand the financial parts of being a grown-up. So I'm all good in that area. But just living on my own is a little tough for me. Being on my own, I have my parents here 24/7. They're actually here with me right now, but I don't get the chance to be with them as much. So I'm adjusting in a good way. I think it's all healthy and it's all good for me the way I'm adjusting.
Because my oldest daughter's a fan of yours, and I'm sure she's going to watch this. She doesn't watch everything I do, but I'm sure she'll watch this. Could you give her a message? Because she's 17. She's driving. She going into her senior year of high school. I swear she got one foot out the door because she act like she just a tenant here. She don't want to do nothing. She just wants to come and go as she please. And I told her every time we try to correct her, I'm like, you gonna miss this. You don't believe me because I was your age once, but you gonna miss this. Can you please tell her that I'm right about missing it once you out of the house, missing it, wishing you could be under your parents' roof in their care?
Definitely gonna miss it. Even I miss high school. I'm starting to miss college. Like you're gonna miss all those things that you might have took advantage of just a little bit. I think for me, waking up to when my parents cooking for me, my mom waking me up in the morning, like all the little things that came with still being a child.
Exactly.
I miss it all.
Exactly.
So she's gonna look back and tell you like, Dad, you was right. I do miss it.
Man, I tell her all the time. I wish I could trade places with you. So. How would you describe this whirlwind? Because I was just looking at the calendar. I mean, it feels like just yesterday you played your last collegiate game. You played your last game for South Carolina on March 31st. You were drafted on April 10th. You had your first game on May 19th. You've already been a professional for 2 months now. Like such a truncated transition, if you will. What's this whirlwind been like for you?
It's been good. I don't really have too many complaints. I think just because growing up, I played for the USA team, and this is kind of similar to that. I did AAU. I did a lot of things that I was by myself with a lot of things that I did. So I think all the things that I've done has prepared me for this moment. Definitely prepared me for this moment. But it's been fun for me. Being a pro is something I've always wanted to do, and to finally be in this position. It's been a pretty smooth and easy transition for me.
How many people talk to you about your draft night interview with Holly Rowe when you got emotional? Do people come up to you about that all the time?
Yeah, people come up to me about it all the time.
Let me be the latest.
Yeah,
it's like we all made it. That's what it was like. I mean, that was a very, very, very touching moment. And I guess looking back on that. Do you still feel like that, young woman that was
Definitely.
Had to pick? Okay.
Definitely. I think I do for sure. Sometimes I go back and just look at it just to remind myself, because I've had bad days. We're in the season. It's probably 10, 11 games in the season. And I've had bad games. I've had bad nights. I've had my crying nights already. So I've already had a few experiences for myself. But I think it's all helping me and it's going to prepare me. So I think sometimes when I do get down on myself, I look at things that remind me of why I'm here. I look at things that remind me of everything is going to be okay, and stuff like that. So that draft night is something that I will forever remember, and something I always go back for just for a little bit of motivation.
Why have you had crying nights?
Just because, it's tough. Transitioning from just being in college, high school, everything. My minutes are limited here. I'm figuring out a new system. I'm playing with the best girls in the world. So it's a lot. It's a lot for me. And it's a huge transition. I think it's a huge transition for me. Just everything that I'm learning, and just the battle wounds that I got to go through to eventually be the
Yeah.
player that I want to be. So I think everybody has had them, but I think right now for me, I'm just going through trial and error, and it's nothing that I can't get through. Uh, but I actually embrace my trial and error because I know one day that it'll all make sense and it'll all come together for me.
Is that perspective how you keep your confidence, or do you have other ways that you maintain your self-confidence?
I think for sure those are the ways I keep myself confident. My parents too. I think if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't. I don't think I would be able to handle so many situations that I handle. Them just being in my ear, listening to me, giving me positive feedback, things like that. So I think having them in my corner is very special for me, and it's something that gets me through day to day.
So going back to draft night, like, so you have that euphoria, you have this amazing moment, you crush it in the dress, you crush it in the interview. I mean, the behind the scenes where you walked in and your whole family and your friends and your loved ones greeted you, it's like you're on this huge high. How quickly did you have to set aside the euphoria of your dream coming true and focus on
Yeah.
the reality? Okay, I got to go right to work.
That was super quick, I think, for me. Right after the draft, I was ready to get to training camp, like mentally out, and it was an exciting part of me that was just ready to get to work. Like, okay, fun is over, we made it. Now let's go ahead and make sure we make the team. Because for me, getting drafted was one thing. Then it was another thing to get out of training camp. I wanted to make sure I wasn't on that cut list. So right after the WNBA draft, I was in the gym getting myself ready for what was to come. So I think if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be as much as prepared as I was.
I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to hit on that with you as an incoming player. Can you describe for people who may not quite understand, because, we see you dominate at South Carolina or even dominate, since you've been playing ball all the way going back to high school and whatnot, internationally as well. It's like we see you get drafted, your dream comes true. You got the viral moment with Holly, and you're into the WNBA. Can you describe for those that may not either know, understand, or appreciate just how hard it is for a young player, even a top 10 pick, to stick and make it in the WNBA?
It's very hard. It's very hard. And I think the rookies are the ones that get it the worst. So you got to make sure that you come in ready to play. You got to make sure that you show everybody in that gym that you deserve to be in this position. And it's cutthroat. It's definitely cutthroat. You can build relationships in this league and things still might not go your way. So that's why it's more of a job now. It's strictly business now. And you just got to do what you got to do. So it's hard. And a lot of people are like, oh, I got drafted. Yay. But at the end of the day, yeah, you got drafted. But there's been some people that got drafted in the first round that's not even in the league right now. So you got to make sure that you continue to push very hard and don't get too high just because you got drafted, because it gets tough right after that.
Did you have any cutthroat moments? Like, what was your welcome to the WNBA cutthroat moment once you got drafted?
I haven't had any. I haven't had
Okay.
any at all. I think.
Thank God for that.
Yeah, I haven't had any. Yeah, I haven't had any cut. That's because I made sure I maintained. I made sure that I went in and did what I needed to do so that I wouldn't be in a position to where I wouldn't have been chosen. So I had to make sure that I was on my P's and Q's at all times, taking everything serious. And truth be told, training camp is the hardest part of being in the league. Once you get through with training camp, you can kind of take a deep breath to know, okay, I'm on this team, but you can get cut at any given moment. But I think training camp is where you build that separation from the players that are supposed to be here and who's not.
Mm-hmm. Was there a moment when, let me see if I can make this make sense. Was there a moment where you knew that your veteran teammates knew that you belonged? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. I think for the first time that I knew that my teammates knew that I belonged was, first of all, I felt like Nneka always believed that I deserved to be on this team just from draft night. She always told me she told me the first day I met her that she was going to take very good care of me. And that just shows that she wanted me on the team. She wanted me to be a part of this program. And my teammates now, they really put a huge emphasis of trying to get me the ball every time I step on the floor. They keep me motivated. I got some really good vets around me, and not a lot of people get the chance or the opportunity to have people around like I do. And I'm super, super thankful for all of the vets that I have around me, because truly, if I didn't have them on my side, I don't know where I would be. Because they definitely take very good care of me, keep me motivated, and let me know that I deserve to be here. And this is somewhere that I'm going to be for a long time, as long as I put the work in.
What have you already learned in the 2 months that you've been a Spark that you could not have wrapped your mind around 2 months ago? But you couldn't even imagine you'd have learned, especially this fast.
Ooh, that's a good question. I think, that you just got me with a real good one.
Take your time.
Something that I've learned. Repeat it for me one more time, so I can make sure that I'm hearing
I
you
would
right.
say as much as you may have, I'll buy you some time to think about it as well. As much
Mm,
as you may have had an idea what to expect. I mean, listen, you only came from the premier program in the country. As much as you may have had an idea of what to expect at this level, or what it took to succeed at this level, or the road that lied ahead to you, the challenging road that lied ahead for you. Looking
mm.
back just in the last 2 months, what have you learned that you could not have wrapped your head around on, let's say, on draft night?
I think the first thing that keeps coming to my mind is just the amount of games we play. Like,
Mm,
it's literally no break. Like, we play every other day, every other
yeah.
day. So I think that's something that my body didn't wrap its mind around. So I had
Okay.
to physically get myself in a space to where I could perform at a high level every other night. Especially coming from a season. I just got done playing, competing for a national championship, and then right after that, I had to come here and work my butt off even harder to compete for a training camp. And now we're playing games every other day. I think my body's starting to adjust, and I'm super happy about that. But I think that's something coming in. I don't think I was very prepared for how much of a toll this all will put on me.
That's perfect. That's exactly what I had in mind. All right, so let's go to opening night. First of all, before we get to your performance on opening night, what was the energy like? Like, it's opening night, it's your first
Yeah,
professional regular season game, and it's also BG's return. Like, what was that whole
yeah, it
scene
was
like?
crazy.
And Dawn is there. Like, what was that scene
Yeah,
like? The energy in that
it
building.
was crazy. It was great. It was great. I think the highlight of the night was BG though. Like, the crowd was so into it. I had an opportunity to meet her before that game because we played them in a preseason game.
Mm-hmm.
But the crowd was very, very into it. I was super excited just to have the chance to go out there and play with her on the floor, with it being a historic night for her. And literally right before I got on the court, I saw Coach Staley. So that got me hyped, got me riled up. And I'm like just ready to go out there and play. So I just knew. And truth be told, I didn't really even know when I would get put in the game that day. I was just ready. Whenever my time was, I was ready to get out there. So that was super, super. That was one. That's one of the best nights that I've had so far. And hopefully down the road I can get some more games like that, because I need to get some of those on my belt.
Yeah, I'm about to say, you ready, all right. 14 points in
Yeah.
15 minutes in your first game. What was clicking for you that night? Why were you in that zone, in that mode?
I think I was just playing free, playing very free. I think also, I'm not sure if my opponents knew what I was capable of, because I think down the road now teams are starting to realize what type of player I am, try to take certain tendencies that I have away from me. But I think down that first stretch, it was people's first time stepping in front of me, and I was able to just get off in the ways that I wanted to get off. But I think I just was playing free. I was playing extremely free, and everything was falling for me, and I was having fun. I think that is I have always had my best games when I'm comfortable. When I get very comfortable, things really start to go my way. So I think that played a huge role into why I had a performance the way I did.
And how would you assess your performance this season since that first game? How would you describe it?
Um, I feel like I've been doing okay. I'm my toughest critic, so I think I've been doing okay. Doing the best for what I'm getting, and just trying to maintain. I'm trying to continue to learn. But it's a lot. It's a lot when you come into the league, especially playing for Kurt. It's like the way he wants things to be done, it has to be done that exact way. And a lot of things that are going on now is some things that I wasn't used to. So I got a lot of adjustments that I'm making down my stretch. And there's some things that I just got to figure out. But I wouldn't say I'm doing bad. I just think I'm going through what rookies usually go through, just adjusting. And that's just something that I'm going to take on the chin, and I'm going to adjust for sure. So when that time comes, it's going to come. So until then, I'm just staying down, being focused on learning every day, being a sponge. And when it's time, it's going to be time. So.
Because then you go, your third game, I think you had a 3 for 14 performance, and then your playing time has fluctuated quite a bit this season. Similar to how you told me, you go back and you look at that draft night interview, where you cry because you were so grateful and thankful. You look at that for inspiration if you get down. Do you look back at your first game and the performance you had in your very first game and say, hey, no matter what happened today, I know that I've done it. I know I could do it. Because I think about Michael Jordan, for example, and he talked about how once he hit that shot against Georgetown in '82, that any other game-winning shot, whether he made or missed it, it didn't matter because he knew he had made that one. So he knew he could make it. So even if you're struggling, you look at that first game and you say, you know what? And it might not even be that first game. It might be your entire career. It might be what you did at South Carolina and high school. But what do you look at to let you know, no matter how much you're struggling, that you got this and that you're going to be the player that you're supposed to be?
I look at a lot of different highlights of myself. But this, truth be told, the only thing I truly do is pray. I think that's the biggest thing that I do to keep myself motivated, to keep myself understanding that I'm here for a reason. And I just put it all in God's hands. I don't really question anything. I don't complain. I don't ask why. I just literally put my head down, work, and I know God will show me exactly why I'm going through what I'm going through. So that's my takeaway in the way that I go about the position that I'm in right now, because I'm fine with going through it. And I also think Coach Staley prepared me for anything mentally. She put me through a lot to help me. She gave me tough love. She showed me what it's like to be down. She showed me what it's like to be up. And with all that, she showed me how to maintain in life. So I'm prepared for everything that's coming at me right now. I'm definitely comfortable mentally. I'm in a great space, and I'm just taking my hits right now.
Somebody once told me either pray or worry, but don't do both. You got to pick one. You can't do both. You cannot do both. Hey, have you forgiven Asia? for that block? I know you had some fun with it. You and daughter as well. Have you forgiven her yet?
I mean, I don't think, for me, it was never really like a thing of like.
I'm joking.
I feel like it was cool that she did it. Like, I kind of went up risking. Like, he's one of the best players in the league, so I'm a risk taker anyway. So I went up doing what I had. But truth be told, I even told Asia this. Like, I think she fouled me. So that's why I was looking around like, are y'all serious?
Right.
Like, I really think I thought she fouled me, but in this league, that ain't no foul. So it is what it is.
And you ain't getting that call. Not yet. You ain't getting that call yet.
I ain't getting that call. But it's all good.
Yeah. Right. I mean, listen, you do that, and that's the result. What you got to be worried about going forward? It ain't no fear in you anyway. If there was fear in Zia Cooke, there certainly is no fear.
It out.
Exactly. That's exactly right. You also said, like, that you were soaking in. I read or saw an interview where you talked about, like, you're continuing to soak in everything because you realize you're still living your dream. Can you give me an idea of some of the moments? We talked about that first game, and the energy in BG's return and Dawn there and that performance. What are some of the other moments or experiences that you've made certain to soak in during this rookie season?
Yeah. Man, I think playing against some of these greats, man, there's some good girls in this league. I'm talking about respect for sure. I think the first person that I played against and my respect was out the roof was Jewel Lloyd. Like, getting a chance to play against her, seeing how efficient and how good she is, it was crazy. It was literally a dream come true. On the bench, I had to keep myself cool because she'd do something crazy. I'm like, oh, everybody looking at me like that. I'm like, my bad. Like, she just did. Like, for me, it's like, I'm really studying these players. Like when I'm sitting, if I'm not in a game, I'm looking at these players, seeing what they're doing. Because one day that's the
Mm-hmm.
position that I want to be in. And she's somebody I look up to, but also getting a chance to play against Enrique for the first time was a dream come true as well. It felt weird being on the court with her because that's somebody I've always looked up to. And when I finally get the chance to play against Kelsey Mitchell as well, I think that's going to be a night for me. Just soaking it in. Like I said, I think all season long, I'm going to have moments where I'm soaking it in because this has been a dream for me for so long. And it's girls just like me that's in this league that I finally get to step in front of. So I think those moments are the best for me.
And what about off the court? I don't want to just talk about how you're managing your rookie ups and downs off the court. Like now that you're an adult, now that you're a pro, now that you got this freedom. I know you're playing every other day, like you said, which is an adjustment. But like, what are you doing? Just personally or socially, like outside of basketball right now? What are some of your other passions, pursuits, and interests that you're able to lean into?
Well, I signed with Adidas as well, so I spend my time going shopping.
Oh, I peeped.
I do.
I peeped.
Yeah. I just came from a camp. So doing stuff like that, and then my mom and dad, they get here as much as they can. I spend quality time with them. My apartment literally has everything that I can think of. We got a rooftop pool. We got everything. So anytime I want to go out and just relax, I'll go upstairs on the rooftop. It's starting to get a little hot here, so eventually I'll be able to go to the beach, do stuff like that. I've been to the movies and stuff like that since I've been here. I like LA. I like it. It's just I haven't got the full experience yet because it's been so cold. But I think once it starts warming up, I think the experience is going to be great. And it's always good events here too. It's been a lot of good things going on. I went to a concert recently. So it's just been a lot of good things that we went to see Erykah Badu. So
you went to see Erykah?
Yeah.
How was that?
It was cool. It was good. See, me, I didn't know any of her music for real, but my mom did. And it was a good experience for me. I'm like, it's a concert, it's free, why not?
Oh, you went with your mom?
So that was, I went with my mom. Yeah, a few of my teammates were there as well, so it was good.
Oh, that's so awesome. First of all, that's
I
very
got a chance to go to a Lakers game too.
Oh,
I went to a Lakers game. Yeah, during the playoffs when they were playing against Memphis.
Oh, okay. How was that experience?
Yep, that was fun too. That was super fun.
Yeah.
So I got a chance to do a lot of different things.
The Badu thing hits me because that's. See, me and your mom probably your mom probably a little younger than me, but we same generation or whatever. So I got the same musical taste. Erykah Badu and my wife know this. She was my wife in another life. Like I grew up loving Erykah Badu. So I just appreciate that you got that great musical taste. You had me with Erykah. That's my people right there. And since we're talking about music, okay, I asked you earlier. I said, how many people tell you or talk to you about your draft night interview where you got emotional? How many people tell you that your dad looks like Juvenile?
Oh man,
you get that a lot?
Juvenile?
No. Who's Juvenile?
Who's Juvenile?
All right, there's my old moment right there. Thank you very much. There's my.
Oh, I gotta ask him though. I have to ask him. Do he know who Juvenile is?
Your dad knows. Your dad definitely knows who Juvenile is. But that's okay. That's all right. Thank you for dating me. There we go. I knew eventually I was going to feel a generational disconnect with you. Hey, listen, I hope to see you soon. I know broadcasting is an aspiration of yours, right? Have you done anything, whether it's, watching or just interviews or any, have you had some more practice? I know you're busy with basketball, but is that still something that you're kind of working toward in your spare time?
Yeah, I have not practiced with that yet. But it is, I think some things that I really want to get into is I want to start acting. I think that's something that I really want to do. In my off time.
Really?
I really want to lock into that and get that figured out.
You're in the right place.
I think this off season, I'm definitely going to take a little bit of time doing that. I'm still deciding about overseas. So it's a lot of things that I'm still deciding what I want to do for the off season. But broadcasting is going to forever be in there because I got a degree in it, so I might as well use it at some point. But I do want to go ahead and just figure out what are some other things that I want to get into because I know for sure that's something that I can do.
Well, you anything you put your mind to, you've shown you could do. Z loading. I look forward to following your career and keeping in touch And I got a feeling that the Sparks are going to be a dangerous team once everything comes together. And you trust in the process, and I can't wait to see the results. Zia, thank you so much for the time. I know you're busy. Appreciate you taking some time to talk to your main man, Michael Smith.
Yeah, thank you so much, Michael.
All right, take care. Hey, thanks so much for kicking it with your main man, Michael Smith. Be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, but also subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Rate it, review it, tell your friends about it. Oh, and be sure to follow me on social media.